Greetings and welcome to another Lessons with Odin. Today was actually supposed to be a resin review, but I ran out of resin, and the shipment takes its sweet ass time, so I won't be getting my actual resin shipment in until today, which is the day I have to film something for you guys, so you guys get a bonus ring tutorial, because reasons. So anyway, and you also get a sneaky peek at my Halloween challenge, which if you are planning on participating, your photo entries are due this Thursday, the 27th, so I get a chance to actually, put a video together so I can show you guys all your creations that you've created on Monday. So today I will be showing you how to make this fanciful ring, sort of. I realize that a lot of people are not into this whole raven skull aesthetic thing. I will show you how to make this using a different bead for your focal point. But if you are into this raven skull thing, I will give you a link down below as to where you can purchase these skulls, because they're pretty spiffy and they come in 2 sizes and they're pretty fantastic. I got them at Fire Mountain. So yes, that is what we will be doing today. So for this project you will need some form of focal bead. I have this Swarovski clover because I love my clovers and they're adorable. You can basically use whatever bead you want for this. This is drilled through the entirety of the bead. I recommend using something flat because anything round will just jab into your finger and that won't be fun for anybody. So I have this clover bead. I also have some flower flat shapes. I have these stars. I have a butterfly. Any of these shapes will do. Potomac makes those 2-holed cabochons. I'm sure they would be pretty nifty as well. Or just a single-hole cabochon, just something pretty nifty that you would like to use with this. Or if you already have some form of bezeled Rivoli, that would work as well. You will also need some Diamonduos. I am using 6 this time, just because I damn well feel like it. And because sizing can be a little bit tricky with this kind of ring, I also have some 3mm beads that I plan on using to fill in any gaps. And also the width of your main focal bead will also impact the sizing of your ring as well. You will also need size 11 seed beads and size 15 seed beads. And of course your needle and thread. Let us get started. And I'm going to start that off by adding on one size 11, my focal bead, and another size 11. And I'm going to pass that down to the center of my thread because I want to use both sides of my thread so that I can get an accurate estimate of how big I want my ring while I'm still creating it. Once I've done that, I'm going to pass back through the focal bead. I'm going to pass through the next size 11 seed bead, and I'm going to pass it through in the opposite direction so that the hole rests perpendicular, and it basically plugs up the hole of the focal bead. So that we end up with this, and my tail thread and my working thread are passing through in opposite directions of that 11-0 seed bead. This entire ring is made out of right angle weave, so we're just kind of creating the fundamentals to work on each side of it. And you can see on the other side, we pretty much have the same orientation of our bead. I'm going to now reinforce these beads once more just so we have a good support system. So I'm just going to pass through the focal bead again, and I'm going to pass through the size 11 seed bead. And the hole is going perpendicular of the hole of the focal bead. I'm going to go back down through the focal, pass through the other seed bead, once more down the focal. Now don't get too stressed out about the orientation of the bead because this is kind of a pivot point. It's going to turn throughout the process. Next up, we're going to add 2 size 11s, a bottom hole of a Diamonduo, and 2 size 11s, and we're going to pay attention to the orientation of the Diamonduo as we thread it on. We want to make sure that when we pass through, our Diamonduo is going to stick out further towards the right. Because this is the center of our ring and we're going to be building outwards like this. So, I'm going to pass through the size 11 seed bead that is anchored to our focal. Then I'm going to reinforce by passing through all of these beads once more. Then I'm going to end up with my working thread coming out of one side of the 2 size 11 seed beads. Then I'm going to add 5 size 15 seed beads and pass through the top hole of the Diamonduo. We're going to add another 5 size 15 seed beads, and we're going to pass through the 2 size 11s on the opposite side. Then we're going to pass back up all the way through until we end up at the top size 15 seed bead here. Like this. Then I'm going to add 5 size 11 seed beads, and then I'm only going to pass through the size 15 seed beads. From here, I'm going to dive in and pass through the bottom hole of the Diamonduo, then pass up through the opposite side of size 15 seed beads, and move all the way down until the next set of size 11 seed beads. Then from here, I'm just going to dive under again and pass through the top hole of the Diamonduo. Then I'm going to pass up through the first 3 size 11 seed beads so that I end up through the center. Working through these Diamonduos is very similar to working through the crescent beads in my crescent channel bracelet, so if you guys want to take a look at that for some added tips on how to do this, I will leave a link either in a card over here or in the description down below. So we've got one Diamonduo in place, now we need to join and add a second Diamonduo next to it. So I've got on my thread 2 size 11s, another Diamonduo, and 2 size 11s, and I'm taking care as to where I position my Diamonduo on my thread, and I'm taking care to make sure that it will end up on the same orientation as this Diamonduo. So the points are facing up on this one, since these are flat backed, and I will pull it down and then pass back through the point of our previous Diamonduo. Like that. I'm going to reinforce and then repeat the steps to decorate the outside of this Diamonduo, and I'm going to repeat that for as many Diamonduos as I want on my band, both sides. So that is my band so far. I decided to only use 2 Diamonduos this time, so I can show you guys another variation on continuing it and joining it together. So we're going to do another right angle weave variation. I'm going to add on 3 size 15 seed beads, pass through that top bead on the most recent Diamonduo. I'm going to reinforce, and then move to the top bead of this set. Now you can continue just like that in normal right angle weave, adding sections of 3 size 15s, or you can play around with the dynamics of the bead. So for example, I'm going to add on 1 size 11, 1 size 15, and 1 3mm bead. Pass back through that top bead, like that, and then reinforce. Then from this top size 15 again, I'm going to add on 3 size 15s, and pass back through. Then I'm going to reinforce. Then, from the top hole of that set, I'm going to add 1 3mm, 1 size 15, and 1 size 11, the opposite of what we did here. Pass back through, and reinforce. And then it's going to basically alternate and scrunch up, kind of acting like a vine as you alternate the orientation of the size 11 and the 3mm beads. So from here, you will add another 3 size 15 seed beads. After that, you'll start back here and add 1 11-0 first, then a 15, then a 3mm, do another set of 3, and then add a 3mm size 15 and 11-0 in that order, and repeat that until you have the length of your band. Now, when you're joining your band together to form a ring, you're basically going to continue the right angle weave depending on where you have ended up. You could end up either at the tip of a Diamonduo, or you can end up at the ends of a right angle weave patterning here. But what basically you're going to do is you're going to attach your right angle weave. So instead of adding 3 beads, you're only going to add 1 bead, this part, which is the top hole of your band, and then another bead, and rejoin them together. Same thing here. You would add 1 bead, pass through this tip bead of a Diamonduo, add your other bead, and then go around through. If you are joining 2 pieces of right angle weave together, be sure you pay attention to the orientation of the 3mm beads, so that you maintain the zigzag shape. If you can see now, if I were to join these together, it'll go down, up on the other side. So from here, my next sequence is a round of all size 15 seed beads, but I have 2 of the 4 size 15 seed beads we need already existing. So since my thread is coming out of here, I'm going to add 1 size 15 and pass it through the size 15 in the same direction over here. Now when you do this join, also make sure to pay attention to the Diamonduos and make sure everything is flat. See from here, points are up, everything is flat, nothing is twisted. So we pull here. I'm going to add 1 more, size 15, and pass back through our first link here. And we've made a successful join. Everything lines up. We have down, up, down, up. All the points are up on the Diamonduos, and everything is flat. So from here, I'm going to reinforce that ring and then end my threads. And that is your finished ring. We have the bottom swirlies here. You can actually make a whole band just out of that because it's cute. There's the Diamonduos and our little focal piece. I think it's pretty cute. You can make a lot of variations with this piece. And one more point, if you do use this raven skull, I had to sew in a round of beads in between here, otherwise I would have had bare threads, and that makes me uncomfortable when it's so big, so be sure to shove a row of size 15s in there if you decide to do the raven skull. I will leave links down below as to where you can purchase that thing. So I think that'll do it for this episode of Lessons with Odin. I hope you enjoyed this little bonus, and please be sure to share your photos of what you make in our Facebook group, Creations from Lessons with Odin. I will leave links to that down below. And I'm working on part 3 of the Harvest Pumpkin Skillshare class. That should be up sometime this week. So I will leave links down below for you guys if you wanted to join in on the previous 2 as well, so you can get a head start on making your beautiful bezel piece. I've got a little colorway variation. Mine's blue. It's so pretty. It's cute and wintry, and I love it. I hope to see you there, and hopefully I'll have a resin reveal for you guys sometime in the future. So yes, I think that'll do it from me. I hope you guys are having a fantabulous spooky season so far and having lots of delightful goodies. And don't forget, if you are participating in the Halloween Beady Challenge, be sure to send in your pictures by Thursday the 27th so I can formulate a video and have a thing up for all to see. So yes, thank you guys so much for joining me, and of course, if there's anything I need to be trying out right now, feel free to leave me a comment down below, and I will see you next time.